I think we're good. Okay, I think we're really good for now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the author, Andrew Snorton, and you are joining us for the Fast 15. We normally do each and every Wednesday, a little bit after 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, about 15 minutes to kind of pause, check up, check in, enjoy an encouraging note, things along those lines. Now, the last couple of weeks, because of scheduling, we've had to do it at night. So I thank everybody who has joined us the last two times we've done this, which have been at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesdays. But today we're back at our usual time. We're going to make announcements at the end regarding what our time's going to be next week. But just as a couple reminders to stay connected with me, make sure to add me on Facebook on the page Author Andrew Snorton. Add me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at AuthorASnorton. And when you add me on Instagram, click on the link in the bio. That way you'll be able to pull the press and media kit. So if you're a blogger, media person, anything along those lines, you can pull that. You can go ahead and get the info to do interviews, things along those lines. But just continue to go through so you see all the articles, different outlets I've been fortunate to be on. If you have any direct questions, please don't hesitate to email me at AuthorASnorton@gmail.com. And as I always say, just thank you to everybody taking time out of their day. It's kind of like, hey, I need to pump my brakes for a minute. And that's me too. So really appreciate everybody. As we always do, we make sure to want to acknowledge people. Again, we know there's things going on all over the place. Unfortunately, in Metro Atlanta over this past weekend, there was a middle schooler, actually in Lithonia, an 8th grader that was found deceased. And I tell you what, there's a lot of nonsense going on out there. I think we hear it all the time, we see it all the time, and sometimes we internalize it. And then for some people individually, it's a tough time, not only just because of COVID or monkeypox or chicken pox or kicking rocks, so to speak, but we know that there's people out there, even people that might be watching or will watch, that are going through it. Whether it's a physical issue, it could be a mental issue, it could be, something going on with your job, family. We know that there's a lot of drama and mayhem, and for some people, they're really catching it. So if you're one of those people that is really seeming like you're catching it and you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel and you think that light is an oncoming vehicle, please know there are people that care. Please know there are people that want you to constructively pull through. And whatever you're dealing with, if it requires professional help, which for a colleague of mine, there is a situation that is requiring professional help. And I told her, go ahead and get the professional help you need. So don't be afraid if what you're dealing with requires professional help. If it requires you just kind of changing your circles, the people you're around, where you're living, where you're going, what you're eating, what you're not eating, whatever constructive things you need to do to pause, pivot, and put yourself in a better situation, please do so, because we don't want to see you self-destruct and then destruct everything around you. So if that sounds like you, again, stay encouraged, just pause, slow down your moving parts, but please know there really are people that care. Even though people are like, oh, the world doesn't care, it keeps moving. No, there's people that care, that they're called professionals. They're called your friends who really check on you, your family members that truly check on you, not to hustle, but to really check on you. By the same token, there's people who are doing exceedingly well, new job. Some people I've seen, fellow authors, dropping new books. Just something positive happened. And it could be you learned how to tie your shoes to you're able to get somewhere without GPS. But please, for those who are going through some great things, celebrate, because you know what you had to be led through in order to get there. Don't celebrate too hard, but celebrate enough. Remain encouraged, feed off of the positive energy, but let's not forget colleagues of ours that might not be doing so well. So that's our little reminder of the day. Before we get into our selection from the day, I want to give shouts to folks on Instagram. Kelly Marie Taylor, 1971, good to see you. And then Inspiring by Chrissy B, LLC. So make sure to check them both out on Instagram. See the good work they're doing. Give them an encouraging note when you get a chance. So today comes from, I know a favorite, 9 Stories of Faith, Volume 1, 9 Stories of Faith, Volume 1. Make sure to pick it up. It's not just something for the faith community. Even though I interviewed people of background of Christianity, Hinduism, and Islam, it's not just faith. it's about people opening up about what their biggest daily challenge is, what best practices they do in health and wellness, how they utilize their support network, and then finally, how they've changed their way of thinking so that way they can still live positive and powerful lives, even though there's something that they deal with every day. So this particular chapter is called from chapter 4, the book of Daniel, might not be able to see it as well. Okay. And there's a couple of phrases I want to pull. There aren't just faith, but it can help anybody. And this is one that definitely, hits home as one of his biggest challenges, or biggest hurdles he has to clear is keeping my focus. And I tell you what, I know sometimes, even as locked in as I am, I get distracted sometimes real easily. And I know others do. So we know keeping your focus, keeping your energy, tunnel vision, whatever you want to call it, can be a hurdle. But here's a couple things that he mentions that I think are extremely helpful. So I'm going to read this paragraph, and I hope it speaks to some people out here. There are going to be times that your blueprint gets thrown off, and you have to revisit and at times reboot and see if new information aligns or can be incorporated with the larger mission and purpose, let alone change it altogether. You are going down a particular path, and then all of a sudden, there's something that may hinder or accentuate it. People have to be prepared to adjust to a new reality and realize things change. Your ability to adapt aligns with your goal, areas and levels of achievement, success, growth, and related factors. You have to adjust to change. I tell you what, that's a very powerful paragraph right there, because we all have heard the best laid plans, and sometimes they go all over the place. Sometimes, when change happens, it makes your plans better. Sometimes when things happen, it's like maybe you need to do something totally different, and understand that's going to happen. But here's another thing. Your ability to adapt aligns with your goal, areas, and levels of achievement, success, growth, and related factors. You have to adjust to change. We've all heard change is constant. Some things don't stay the same all the time. And there's some changes that happen that we don't like. Seriously, there are. I don't celebrate every change that happens, but there's some things that, quote, are going to help change you for the better. And there's other changes, as difficult as it is, that will break you down and humble you. So that way you can get your mind and spirit clear. So when you revisit certain things, you can operate in a better space and place. So sometimes change might not be understood. It might not always be accepted, but guess what? It's going to happen. And I'm going to go ahead and say this in regards to your goals. And I'm going to say this for the closing part of this chapter. It says, serve your community in regards to things that you should try to do. Serve your community. And that refers to your family and greater community at large. For you not to serve is a sin. It's pretty heavy. Here's a couple other things that are real heavy. You can't bury your talents. You're here to serve some sort of purpose. Think about talents and gifts that we have that we get talked out of using. You see it all the time in creative spaces. Some people are great artists, great singers, great dancers, great, whatever. And people are like, oh, nobody's going to pay attention to you. We let ourselves get talked out of using our talents, or we hide from using our gifts and talents. And here from the book of Daniel, it's like, you can't bury your talents. You are here to serve some sort of purpose. And here's where I want to close from the passage. Find it and utilize your talents. So whatever gifts that you have, and this ties in with something that I say each and every day, all of you out there have some gifts that you know that you have that you're using. There's some gifts that you know that you have that you haven't quite used. But here's the more impressive part. There are gifts inside you that you haven't tapped into. So when you think about that, why hide your gifts and talents? To some degree, who cares what other people think? I can tell that point blank. There's plenty of people who said some foolishness and foulness my direction. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. And guess what? No one's immune to being criticized or talked about or anything along those lines. But you can't get caught up in it, because if you're operating in your gifts and your time and your talents, you filter out a lot of stuff. So these are some takeaways from chapter 4 out of 9 stories of faith from the book of Daniel. And hopefully that spoke to somebody today. So before we get into a couple of announcements, I want to acknowledge people who hopped on the gram. Maria Owens. Oh my gosh, that one right there. Man, look, Maria Owens, just darn true. So make sure to check her out. And EST MCMVIII. I know you did that in Roman numeric code, but what up, fam? And hope you're doing well. Okay, so a couple of quick announcements as we wind down our time. Number one, shouts to the folks at Wake Forest University and Winston-Salem State University. Last weekend was homecoming for Wake Forest. I was blessed to have an interview on WSNC FM 90.5 on Triad and Focus. That was last Thursday, the 15th. So many thanks to the host of Triad and Focus, Jim Steele, and the amazing staff at WSNC FM radio. Check them out if you're in Winston-Salem, Greensboro, or High Point, or if you can get them online, check them out. Shouts to Wake Forest University. Had a great book signing on Friday at the campus bookstore. Always good to be out there. Many thanks to all the alums, friends, colleagues, and what have you that stopped by, including one of the folks from the Wake Forest University cheering team. So thanks, you know who you are. Shouts to you, handle your business in the classroom. A couple other real quick announcements. October 8th, Chicago, the 312, the 773, and Across the Line, and Gary, Hammond. Even you folks in Milwaukee, you know you ain't got nothing to do, go down to I-94. Check me out October 8th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm excited to be one of the participating authors for the book and literacy event taking place at the DuSable Museum. That's a big deal. Many thanks to the staff for DuSable for having me be a part of it. So make sure to check that out October 8th. October the 22nd, for those of you in New Brunswick, New Jersey, in the immediate tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, make sure to check out the great work of Styletainment. They're doing their 10th anniversary gala. October 20th, they'll be at the New Brunswick Center for Performing Arts doing their production, the 10th year anniversary of that. And then the 22nd of October at the New Brunswick the Grand Hyatt Regency in New Brunswick, New Jersey. Break out the tuxes, fellas, ladies, break out the formal, classy, sophisticated attire. It's a black tie. Proceeds are helping support survivors of breast cancer. They're acknowledging at least 10 women who are breast cancer survivors. So it's real important to make sure to check them out at Styletainment. And at the end of October the 28th and 29th, check me out at the Louisville Book Festival in Louisville, Kentucky. And then October 30th from 12 to 2 p.m., check me out at Fonte's Coffee, doing a book signing and a very, very, very special event and launch. Couple other things. New book is coming out sometime. I'm hoping to have it ready sometime in the month of October, so you need to stay connected with me. I'm trying to say what else. Shouts to everybody. Shouts to the team at Status Network and Live TV. They are great partners, even though I'm still on break with the show, The Conversation Corner. They're extremely supportive of the different media pieces that I'm doing. So for those in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, you know what's going on at high noon. Clemson comes to town. So number 5, Clemson takes on the alma mater, Wake Forest University Demon Deacons. So shouts to the amazing coaching staff, student athletes, media folks there. So we will be covering that game this coming Saturday, high noon. Make sure to check it out. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's really happening. Just a couple of quick things as we usually try to take 15 minutes. Normally, like I said, we do this middle of the day because you might not be able to wait to the end of the day to get a pick-me-up. So I hope from what we did in the very beginning, the book piece, and a couple other things, you guys are walking away a little bit more motivated, encouraged, inspired. Thank you for your support of not only me through this, but any of the writing pieces, all the books, the audio books, festivals, special events, interviews, all that type of thing. I thank each and every one of you. As a reminder, stay connected. Add the page on Facebook, Author, AUTHOR, Author Andrew Snorton, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, AuthorASnorton. Click on the link in the bio for my Instagram at AuthorASnorton to go ahead and check out all the press and media, any interview requests, speaking engagements, whatever, hit me up. if you just have a special request, is like, man, I just need someone to just speak life into me because I'm going through some BS right now, you may email me or DM me. DM me, but email me at AuthorASnorton@gmail.com. And before we close, I got to give a shout to the folks joining me on the gram. Kelly Marie Taylor, 1971. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Inspiring Inc. by Chrissy B. LLC. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining. Established, let me see if I can remember. Established 19, I think it is 1978 for my Roman numerals. So established 1978. Shouts to you. You look younger, but that's, hey, black don't crack. And Maria Owens, like I said, just doing some great work in health, arts, and entertainment. She's just doing her thing, y'all. So make sure to support and check out all these people. So in closing, you know where I'm going to go, but I'll say this, whether small or big, the victory is a victory, and whether slow or swift, movement is movement. So stay as victorious as you can, keep it moving in as positive and powerful manner. And until next time, y'all, take very good care. Continued well wishes, blessings, words of encouragement, motivation to all of you in need. So for those of you on Facebook, we're going to go ahead and stop this live stream. But you guys on the book, take good care. I'm going to see you soon. And for